yeah, so with that being said, like our number one thing is to make these improvements. So the website, the machines, the team, some of our process, we're negotiating with material like suppliers for materials so we can adjust pricing and look at pricing properly. We're looking into how do we jump into offset a little more and like figure out how to lower the pricing on that. How do we negotiate with the shipping companies so we can figure out, because maybe this isn't known, but I'll state it right here. We don't make money off shipping. Shipping
No.
is expensive because shipping is expensive. The shipping companies are expensive, and that's the way it is. We do what we can to make it as packed and protected as possible, but we don't dictate shipping costs. We cover the costs of the materials for packaging, and that's it. There is no
Yeah.
huge margins. We're not making so like the fact of the matter is like shipping definitely that's an industry level um, I said industry level problem, I guess, that's an industry level, like a mountain to climb,
Yeah.
figuring out a way to offset shipping for comic book creators. Yeah, there's USPS. They all have their, pros and cons.
Yeah.
Right now, UPS is just the best for a lot of things we've seen in the past. We've dealt with them all. So like a lot of those things, what's in our wheelhouse that we can do that in our I should say in our range of like improving and stuff. We're planning on it. We're doing it. But some of the other things are like the after the fact thing. When we get things rolling and we're delivering, then we can start looking at those other things that we can use our brand power to like leverage to make change in the industry as a whole, which I do have ambitions and goals for, in terms of like doing a lot more for the industry outside of just delivering the given stuff, the quality, speed, and customer service. Like that, those should be a given in our brand. Like those, we shouldn't have to say that. It should be already part of it. The things
Right.
we should say is like, what are we doing more for the industry and for the creator? What can we do to help them thrive, survive, and thrive better? And that's kind of where my long-term vision is leaning towards. But right now, obviously, we have this hill to climb with just getting the quality and the speed and the customer service intact. So that
Hmm.
becomes a given part of our natural way of things.
And it's exciting. I mean, this is it's definitely a mountain. It's definitely a hurdle. But like the thing of it all is that we just the whole scheme of what we're doing in the background and what we're talking about and why we do these shows and why we decided to create these shows and why we care so much and didn't just give up. It wasn't just a job we had and we're like, oh, I don't want to lose my job. We got to
Yeah.
do this. It's like, no, this is passion and we want to make it better. There's nothing about our future that we're setting up that is like going back to old ways. There's nothing about
Mhm.
our future that we're setting up that, that kind of brings us back down. We're trying to find solutions to every hurdle we've come across the past few months and being
Yeah.
like, how do we prevent this from happening? How do we make it better? How do we make it up to the customer? How do we, instill trust? How do we
Yep.
educate? How do we bring together a community? I mean, name another company, I mean, that brings together a community the way we do. And, we're not focused on sales and pushing this and that. We're focused on everybody making more comics. And we're focused on everyone, coming together and sharing their work. We have these shows to elevate these creators to share their work. It's all about the creator. It's all about us making art and comics in the long run. And I mean, it reflects the business because our
Yeah.
business is printing comics. But I mean, our whole point is like, we just want you to make cool art and cool stories and to keep doing it. And we want to give you every single resource and every bit of inspiration and story to make sure you never stop making comics. Because as
Right.
hard as they are obviously instilled in our blood. They're obviously what we obsess over. It's storytelling. It's been around since the beginning of time. And we're here to elevate that. All of the issues are happening. It's very positive because it's just going to make us stronger and better,
Yeah.
3 months from
Yeah.
now, 6 months from
100%.
now.
Yeah. It will definitely be on a whole different level in a few months from now. I was always hoping, obviously, you underestimate. I was always hoping faster and sooner, but like realistically, you know, in my perspective, it's going to take time. I mean, it's going to take a few months to really get you know, get to that level. I mean, I think in a month or so we'll see a big strides. In the next couple of weeks, even big
Yeah.
strides, and then in a few months it's going to be kind of a thing of the past, but also prepared for the future. And I think that's really what the ambition is. And I think everyone on the team can agree with that. Obviously, in the now, it's really tough, but we definitely see it in the future being a lot of these things completely solved. Uh, I mean, there's so much we haven't covered that, you know, I don't think we have to here, but like there is so many more things, obviously, on the back end that we're kind of leaning into and putting our minds around on where we take this to the next level, or where we have to take it to the next level. Because, yeah, anything can happen from now until the end of the year. So we're really excited. I mean, everyone on the team's just really grinding, and you
In such
know,
a positive way too. And I mean, and
yeah.
I can speak for this because I'm part of the team and I'm not just, and anyone who knows me outside of the show and a lot of people who meet me outside of the show that haven't met me, I've gotten the awesome compliment of like, oh, you're not different. You're like exactly what I saw and I experienced.
Right.
And so I don't put on a persona, you know, in and out of, you know, Comics Wellspring or Inspired
Right.
Inc. or Paul City Comics. Like I'm very true and genuine. And I try to be because it's just easier. I don't want to make a persona and be fake for a bit. But the thing
Yeah.
is that like we are grinding all the time, and we have, you know, we're lucky enough to have like Alex Batts and Max Flowers to be helping us on a lot of this stuff in the background and curating a lot of this content and putting things together and brainstorming. But that means you have comic book creators helping finding solutions to make
Mhm.
your comics better and like easier to maintain and manage and create. Like all of this comes from
Yeah.
passion and a drive. None of us are complaining that we're working. At least a good chunk of us aren't complaining about, you know, working these hours because we're excited and happy
Right.
to do
Yeah.
it. And we're happy to give back to the community. And we want to see
Yeah.
the community flourish. And I think that's what
Yeah.
we all have in mind too.
Well, that's yeah, and the same with like production and everyone in the actual facility. Like everyone's kind of open to not only like no one's closed off to where they're not open to ideas to make things better. I mean, we're even like going like Mel and I and the other owners, like we're reaching out to other printers. We're reaching out, like we're trying, we're asking, we're seeking ideas. We're seeking, I guess, guidance on some areas that we feel like we're not going to just guess and make the best judgment. Like we want to get insight and we want to like get feedback from everywhere. We want this to work so bad. We don't care about like trade secrets and like I mean we
Yeah.
have, but like realistically it's printing comic books. Like it's just it's the passion and the heart that's where is the differentiating factor. You know, it's so it's like we everyone's passionate enough to just put all the fake persona stuff behind, put all the cloak and daggers or you know, behind, and just like really focus on just being genuine enough to know, you know, genuine enough in our communications and authenticity, and just genuine to just know when to ask for help. I mean, that's
Yeah.
literally all we're doing at that point. I mean, even just us coming on here talking about if the customer could start using a template, like that's just asking for help. It's just like help us make it better for you. I mean,
Yeah.
this, and I'm not scared to say that or any of this, like because it's like we have a cool brand, we have the machine that's running, we have the cool brand, we've already had traction. I mean, we got something here that we
Hmm.
want to make work. We got something here that can actually make an impact,
Yeah.
and with leadership like myself and everyone else involved, you, and like we can look at this and say, let's build this really strong thing and do it good for the direct community, and then use that as a platform to fix other areas in our industry, or
Yeah.
supplement or back up other industries.
Bring your comic books to life and print your comics with Comics Wellspring.